We're here with our BALi Biggest Loser winner, Terry Shilling. Is just about to pocket $3,000, but he found out some things about his story that made me want to come down and actually talk to him in person and get the story. So tell me about how you, yeah, wifey, come on in here. So go back and give me a story about how you guys found out about BALi and got into the BALi eating and meal planning and more group.
Actually, our son was having some severe medical problems with his stomach, has been for quite a while.
Right.
Never could figure out what was going on, and so Christmas of 2017, we were at Melissa Travis's house.
Right.
And we were telling her what was going on, and she's like, "You need to check out the BALi food Facebook post." And I did, and I don't know, we're kind of
skeptical.
Right.
You know, not realizing that, you know, the food that we're eating is not, you know, why would they put that on the shelf if we couldn't eat it? It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Why would we, you know, why would the FDA allow that? And so I watched one video and one Saturday, it's probably like 6 months later, and I was still worried about Zachary. And anyway, I watched the video, I don't remember what it was, and that led to another video, and I was like, Terry, this guy makes sense. This is making sense, and this sounds like Zach. And kind of like us trying to lose weight, it wasn't working for us. We didn't know, you know, why. We thought.
So what were you doing to lose weight?
Supplements,
right.
Protein shakes. I don't want to mention any names.
Yeah, you know, it's not the best thing.
And starving ourselves pretty much.
Yep.
And it just none of it was working.
Uh-huh.
And so anyway, that day, I Googled to try and find your products.
Right.
I didn't want to wait.
Yep.
And I knew that we needed to try and get Zach on board to try, because they sent the scope down his throat.
Wow.
Said that, you know, they couldn't figure out what was wrong. He's been on multiple medications. They finally thought that it was H. pylori.
Yeah. Yep.
And they gave him medication for that. He was still sick after that. So, and he's still off and on sick now. But anyway, so I found your stuff at the Frisco Family Health Market,
right?
Mm-hmm. We went right down there. We bought the Roby enzymes and the black seed oil, and started it that night.
Right.
And
she started it that night.
Yeah,
right. You were still skeptical.
He was.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah. He was still kind of off and on, not really, you know, sure about it. But from August until December, I lost 20 pounds.
Right.
And then when you did this wonderful contest, we have a foster son.
Right.
And we need, we have some issues with him, and so we're like, we need to do this, you know, if not, you know, for ourselves, but we need it for the money. And I said, you can do it, Terry. You can do it. I know you can do it. I know you can. We can do it. You know, you can do this.
Right.
And
what happened with the Roby enzyme and Zach? Did that improve things?
It does.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. And we actually have him on firefighters.
Right. Yes.
But he would have to talk to you about that.
Right.
He's actually started getting hives for the last 6 months.
Right.
And he's been home from Texas A&M,
Mm-hmm.
so he's made a couple of doctor's appointments. And doctor yesterday did some blood work, and he sent him to an allergist. But he was like, no, I think I need to go to a dermatologist. So he went today, and they're actually looking at his lymph nodes.
Uh-huh. We'll sort him out after we get done, so I'll tell you what to do. So anyway, so you basically got into it to win the money, right?
Well, yeah.
Kind of. I mean, I'm sure there were some ancillary things, you know, like your health and that. Do you have anything diagnosed, right? Like high blood pressure, cholesterol?
High blood pressure, high cholesterol, sleep apnea,
Gout.
gout.
Right.
And I haven't had a gout flare-up haven't taken any of the high blood pressure medicine. Cholesterol just dropped dramatically.
Right.
I was taking the high blood pressure medicine and went to the doctor because I was getting lightheaded and dizzy.
Right.
And he said, well, we'll cut it in half and see how that goes.
Right.
So he cut it in half, and I'm still getting lightheaded and dizzy.
Half dizzy.
I just quit taking it about 3 months ago.
Right.
I guess was the last time I actually had it.
Yep.
And then take blood pressure, normal blood pressure. It's
Right.
all good. You know, she says I'm not snoring at night anymore. So.
Awesome. Were you ever on the CPAP? The
Yeah,
mask?
I have one
We
upstairs.
actually have only had it since December, I think,
I got it
late
just before
November,
Christmas.
December.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so, I mean, we paid the $400, insurance copay
Did the whole
for one
thing,
visit,
got it all
$300
done,
for the
yeah.
next visit, and then not even a month later, he doesn't.
Doesn't need it.
No, because he started losing weight.
Growing
Once
dust.
he lost maybe the first 15,
20 pounds, yeah.
if even
It was
that.
crazy. The weight loss was dramatic too. So
Right.
especially like the first couple of weeks when just
Uh-huh.
dropped right off.
Uh-huh. And exercise? Were you implementing exercise
Yeah,
also?
yeah. Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
She's a beast.
Yep. Is she your personal trainer?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I work outside all day.
Right.
I do a lot of manual labor, and I went from. What helped was I went from sitting in a shuttle bus moving trucks. The company I work for, we do new Peterbilt stuff.
Right.
And went from doing that to actually working out at work, moving wood, walking. I average at work probably 8 to 12 miles a day of walking.
Right.
Going from 0 to 8 to 12. And then when I get home, it's like, got 3 miles to do. Got 45 minutes, let's go. You know?
Sometimes every day of the week.
Right.
So, I mean, it wasn't just the 3 to 4 times. Well, and I mean,
There were days she'd drag me out of the house. I didn't want to go. And
Right.
be like, we're going to do 3 miles. And we get done with the 3 miles. It's like, let's do another one. And then she'd make sure we went a route where we had to walk that extra mile just
Right.
to get home. You know?
Yeah.
So.
but it's funny, we don't have time to exercise. We don't have, but when all this started, it's funny how that we found time.
Found it, right.
And even, you found time, to exercise plus whatever you needed to do.
Right. So it's about priorities. I mean, everybody's got 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
And so you can't make time, you can't find time, you can make priorities though, right?
Right.
So you prioritize how you want to spend that time.
Right.
Right.
I told Zach, I said, one of the main reasons I'm doing it is I want to be the fat dad at your wedding. So.
Right.
I mean,
So
he's getting married in a couple of years. So.
right. Awesome. Now the money, right? So that's $3,000, right? So you're going to get a new car, right? Go on a vacation, right? What are you going to do with the money?
That's already spent. It's going to an attorney to help us with a foster child.
Awesome. This is a child you already have?
Yeah, he's here in the house.
Okay, is that the one that I saw?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the one.
Okay. Oh man, that's why I wanted to come down when I found out that was the way that you were going to spend the money. I thought you might put a down payment on a Corvette or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but
He really wants a new truck.
and really wants a new truck. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, when did you guys adopt him?
We haven't adopted him yet.
Oh, see.
We still got court dates and stuff to go.
Right.
So
We're
we-
fighting for him.
we got him when
It's
he
our
was.
second time having him.
Yeah, we got him when he was 6 months old.
So you were foster parents.
Yeah,
Right.
he was our first one and our only one so far. But we got him when he was 6 months old. We had him till he was almost 3. Almost two, and they gave him back to his mom.
Right.
And she had him for about 8 months or so, and then they called us and asked if we wanted him back.
So she had some issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Still has issues.
Still has issues, of course, right? So you guys be taking him in. Well, he's a handful, it looks like. So you're gonna need to lose weight and have a lot of energy to keep up with that little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He loves the walks too. We put him in a stroller and he goes with us on the walk. So
Oh,
I push
awesome.
the stroller and he's watching his iPad or
Right.
looking at the trees or whatever
Right,
he's doing.
right.
So,
Riding his tricycle.
yeah.
So in instituting the eating plan, and we tell people this is not that, and this is why I had you do this for 5 months, right? To really get it dialed in to your head that this is not a diet, this is something that you do for long term, right? To get the long term results. Did you find that challenging?
At first.
Yeah.
But after that, it's like, nah, it's easy. And you don't even realize that you're eating the good stuff.
Right.
I mean, there was stuff that I didn't eat before.
Right.
Like some of the seafood and, different things like that. Because she
Zucchini.
zucchini, the squash,
Uh-huh.
and stuff
Sweet
like that.
potato.
Right.
And now that's like a staple here is
Right.
the zucchini, the squash, cut up the sweet potatoes,
Yep.
bake them with coconut sugar, some cinnamon.
Awesome.
stuff.
Awesome.
I think
Awesome.
the hardest part for us really was understanding that the sugar addiction and I guess guess the gluten or whatever that's in bread that causes you to like want it.
Right.
It's kind of like a cigarette addiction or a caffeine addiction, because we didn't have a caffeine addiction.
Right.
We may, okay, you had those drinks or whatever, but
The monsters.
Uh-huh.
you know, once we overcame that, hey, this is just like a drug. We've
Right.
gotta, you know, fight through it and just stop.
Right.
And it took a couple weeks. You know, we didn't cheat, but you know, we still had that urge.
Right. Right.
But then, I mean, through the contest, we went to Roadhouse a couple of times.
But you can eat
Right.
BALi there.
Yeah. You just take the list with you. If you know how to pick the food, then I mean, you can eat BALi most anywhere, right? It's harder at
Bread.
McDonald's,
Oh my
but
gosh, when you walk in the
Oh,
door,
yeah.
the smell of the yeast bread.
Right.
But anyway, I think that was probably the hardest part.
right.
It's
And then
sugar.
the other reason I wanted to come interview you guys was the story that you posted about. Is it your sister?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Claudia.
Yeah. And so she lost what?
Like 50 pounds.
50 pounds, 50 pounds, right? Just from you guys tutoring her about this, and she had some type of medical issue. What did she have?
Back surgery.
Back surgery.
Different things.
For,
Yeah.
for it, right?
My dad was bedridden, and she was overweight and, you know, taking care of him, and like totally taking care of him. And he was a pretty big guy, like 300 pounds.
Right.
Plus
And yeah, over
6'4", 6'5".
And so she ended up hurting her back. Ambulance was called out. I mean, and she had emergency surgery, and I don't know what the surgeon did, but did something with her kidneys, and she couldn't walk. She spent some time in a physical therapy, trying to learn how to walk again. And she was scared to get out of the house. The only time she really got out of the house before they moved over here was to walk out and go get the mail, or every once in a while to go grocery shopping. And then we've been living together for almost 4 years, and pretty much the same thing. I mean, she, of course, go with us out to eat, or you know, before our foster son left the first time we went to the zoo, and she came with us. So, I mean, she's gotten out a little bit, but not too much. But then when we started the contest, she saw me losing weight, you know, before the contest, and then we implementing it more, you know, through our house. We're not, you know, this is what we're having for dinner. That's it.
That's like my mom.
The 11-year-old doesn't like it, but you know,
Yeah.
she fights us. But
Right.
But we started, you know, walking, and she would come out all, you know, and I was like, "You want to go walking with us?" And all right, well, let's go. You know, you could tell that it was a little hard for her,
Right.
you know, at first, you know, and I can understand that with uneven sidewalks and things like that. She was scared of hurting herself again.
Right.
And then we're talking, how many years ago was it? I forget. Let's see. Maybe 6-7 years ago. I'm sorry, I don't know the exact date. I mean, I know I put it in the post, but just by watching us, it's helped her.
she was a very timid walker.
Right.
Like if you know, they have those little bumps on the sidewalk. They like texture when you're walking downhill so you don't fall. They
Right.
raised bumps.
Yes.
She would walk kind of sideways on them and didn't want to take big steps. If the road was wet, she would take really tiny steps. She's afraid
Sideways
to
off a
slip.
curve, or
Yeah.
you
Right.
know, just
Now
she's
she just
very
sits
scared,
down, so.
very scared.
So-
But now
Yeah.
You're good.
she's good. She
Awesome,
walks
that's-
like a pro.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean that has to feel pretty good too, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you guys having that type of influence, right, on a family member.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in addition to the weight loss and getting off the drugs, you know, and lowering your cholesterol and blood pressure, blood sugar, that type of thing, what other benefits and getting off the CPAP, right? Other benefits have you seen from following BALi?
More energy.
Yeah. Tons of energy.
Yeah.
It's actually, yeah. Enough energy that the guys at work are like, "Why are you running? You're running at work." And, you know, you do a lot of walking, but when you're in a hurry, I used to walk fast, but now I
Right.
can just run up the hill at work and grab what I need and come back. And,
Right.
You know, I've had a lot of guys at work. They've asked me what I've been doing. We've had a rash of guys that have gotten the gastric bypass
Right.
because my insurance that we have at
Will
work
pay
covers
for
that
it.
100%.
Right.
And you know, it covers everything they need. And so there's a lot of quick loss. When we started this, in January, one of the guys at work got the bypass.
Right.
I've actually lost.
You lost more weight than
I've
him.
lost more weight than him.
Right.
And he's got less energy, and he's just now getting to where he can almost eat like a cup of food.
Right.
It's not good.
No.
You know, but
No. Well, another thing, when you do that, and the reason that he's low energy and so forth is because he's not absorbing, right, the nutrients and that type of thing. And so many times, I mean, that just backfires because the reason that you eat all that food is because of that candida overgrowth, right? That doesn't get addressed with gastric bypass. And so you still have that. So they still will develop that urge, that drive to keep, and they'll usually regain the weight back, right? So I'm glad you didn't do that.
he likes sucking on the Snickers bars now.
Oh, yeah.
But also getting sick. I run an in-home daycare with 11 kids, and they're coming in with sniffles, and we've had a couple kids have had the flu or even hand, foot, mouth disease, and we've, knock on wood, we haven't been not even a cold.
So we'll have to get you guys set up with the liquid vitamin A and D, right, to have here, certainly for you guys, but then for your clients, right? This will keep everybody from getting sick. You do that once a month, right? Do the vitamin A, the liquid vitamin A and D, the 2-day protocol. Do that once a month, just as a preventative, right? During the fall season, nobody will get sick. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to add? Oh, friends, family, church members, right? What have they said?
Everybody. She's had a friend that she hadn't seen in a few months. Couldn't believe the weight loss.
Right.
And I've got the guys at work. They're like, "How much you weighing today?"
You need to start a group there at work, right?
They're always giving me a rash about you need to get smaller pants. I had one guy actually, my work uniform. He hadn't seen him in a few weeks, and he comes up and he starts laughing. I said, "What are you laughing at?" He goes, "Man, you're wearing a dress." I said, "Well, last time I saw you, your stomach was sticking out, and I could see your belly underneath it, and now it's down to your knees. It looks like a dress. It's so small." I'm like, so yeah, it feels good,
So going forward, right? When I walked in, I noticed that you're still losing weight, right? So do you have a goal?
I'm aiming for 220.
Yeah.
210, something like that.
How tall are you?
I'm sorry?
How tall are you?
About 6 foot.
6 foot, yeah. So around 200.
That seems like a good, comfortable weight.
Yeah. More than weight, actually, though, is your waist, right? For men, that waistline needs to get down to 35 or less, right? So I care about that more than I care about the weight.
I was 46.
Yeah.
Now it's 38.
30. Wow. Right. And you lost how much?
Total, I've lost over 50 pounds.
So that's like 175 pounds between all three of you. Yeah. That's
I weigh
huge.
actually less now than I did when we first started dating in high school.
Yeah.
So.
Fantastic.
I don't think I'll ever weigh what I do.
Well, keep at it and keep the exercise, right? And start doing some of the stuff that you see me doing on the exercise. It'll happen, right? Particularly, somebody as young as you. So, just excellent effort. And again, the peripheral stories, right, are as important, I think, as what you have accomplished together. So keep up the good work, and maybe we'll interview you a year later, and you'll be even more impressive. So thanks for participating.
Thanks for doing it.